You want to know the truth, don't you? The real story of where everything began. The mysteries of our existence. But the truth is, there's no simple answer. There's no easy path to the beginning of time, of creation, of humanity. What if I told you that myths of origin hold the key? That every civilization, every culture, even you and I, we're all part of this story. Welcome back to the channel. Today we dive into the origins of myths. The stories that explain not just how the world began, but why it exists at all. How do these ancient myths shape our understanding of life, of suffering, and of destiny? Why are these ideas still so relevant today? Let's explore two foundational myths that have shaped not just ancient civilizations, but the way we see the world. Mankind has always been curious. We ask the question, where did everything come from? It's a question that stretches beyond time. Whether it's the ancient Greeks, the Vikings, or the Aboriginal cultures here in the Americas, everyone has a version of this origin story. And what you'll find is that these stories aren't just about gods and legends, they're reflections of human experience. Let's start with a classic. Picture this. In the beginning, there was nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just chaos. Nothing was born. Nothing existed. There was no matter, no energy, just potential. The Greek poet Hesiod, in his Theogony in Zrenia, описывает это пустоту как chaos. From this chaos, something miraculous happens. Creation. Imagine it. The universe birthed from nothing. And just like that, perfection arrived. The world wasn't a work in progress. It was complete, whole, and perfect. The concept of a golden age emerges here. Everything in harmony, unblemished, flawless. But there's a catch. That perfection doesn't last. As time moves forward, everything begins to degrade. The golden age eventually becomes the age of silver, and then bronze. Each stage is a step further from that perfect moment, a moment that, in a strange way, every culture longs to return to. It's a tale as old as time. Think about it. The golden age becomes the fall of mankind, the perfect creation. It all begins to break down. Now, this isn't just about the world outside of us. It's the internal struggle, the loss of innocence, the journey from perfection to a more complicated, often corrupted world. But here's the twist. There's always hope. The myth promises that, under certain conditions, that lost unity, that perfect world, can one day be restored. A return to that state of purity. A return to the beginning. Now, why does this myth resonate with us? The idea of a return to perfection. Doesn't that sound familiar? Think about the Big Bang Theory, the scientific myth of origin, the universe, expanding outward from a singular point. From nothing, everything was created, just like the myth. The universe was born in a moment of intense creation, a moment when all mass and energy were in one singularity. Then it exploded, and everything started to spread. And just like that, there's a possibility of return. Imagine a world where the forces of gravity and expansion counterbalance. Could the universe collapse back in on itself? Could the chaos of the Big Bang be reversed? It's a mythic structure, the beginning, the fall, and then a potential rebirth. Let's look back to Hesiod's story. After the chaos, the first gods were born, Uranus and Gaia. They were the first rulers of the world. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Uranus and Gaia were, quite literally, fused together. They were inseparable, living in a constant, eternal embrace. They didn't need time. They didn't need space. Their existence was one, uninterrupted. A primal union. But as with all things in myth, trouble starts brewing. Uranus and Gaia's children were trapped. There was no room for them to exist. They remained in their mother's womb, trapped beneath the earth. Gaia became angry, and so she sought revenge. She turned to her youngest son, Cronus, and asked him to dethrone Uranus. With a weapon forged by Gaia, Cronus attacked Uranus. He castrated him, and in doing so, he created the first real space between heaven and earth. It was a moment of great power. and with that power, the first generation of gods rose. But Cronus, being the son of Uranus, feared the same fate would fall upon him. He too devoured his children, trying to prevent them from overthrowing him. This brings us to the next mythic pattern, the inevitable cycle of death and rebirth. Cronus may have eaten his children, but one survived, his son, Zeus. Zeus, the god of the sky, the god of justice. He grew up in secret, and when the time came, he fought back. He waged war against his father, and after a long battle, Cronus was overthrown. Zeus became the ruler of the gods. But Zeus wasn't done. His father, Cronus, had one final weapon, the terrible creature, Typhon, a monster made of all the evil in the world. Typhon was immortal, and Zeus couldn't defeat him directly. But Zeus didn't give up. He trapped Typhon beneath Mount Etna, where he remains to this day, showing that even the greatest of threats can be subdued, though they never disappear completely. The age of Zeus had begun, and the world was about to be forever changed. Now, why does all of this matter? These myths of origin, they shape who we are. They tell us where we come from, why we suffer, and why we strive to be better. But more than that, they remind us of something universal, that the struggle between perfection and degradation is not just a story of gods, it's our story too. And you know what? There's another myth I want to share with you. A myth from Sigmund Freud. It's about how humanity came to be, a primal origin story. But we'll save that for another time. Before I go, I've got a question for you. Do you like this content? Do you find these myths fascinating? If so, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And hey, there's another video right here on the screen that I think you'll enjoy. Go ahead and click it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.